Up next, the left-wing liberal media blasting me again because I want the president to live up to his promise of transparency on his birth certificate. By the way, I believe the president is a citizen, but for some reason the left-wing media found it inconvenient to report that part of the story. President Obama promised transparency and openness in his administration, yet he's chosen not to release his original birth certificate or a copy of it. And a number of Americans are asking why not. The left-wing media has attacked me because I simply asked the question. Meanwhile, the state of Hawaii says it can't release a paper copy of the president's original birth certificate because they say the state government discarded the original document when the health department records went electronic some 8 years ago. That explanation, however, has not satisfied some critics. Joining me now, Roland Martin, he's CNN contributor, syndicated columnist, and joining us as well, Congressman Ted Poe. Before we get started, I want to be clear where I stand, because the left-wing media kind of forgot to leave out, kind of left a few things out. It was inconvenient to their stories. Just one statement, very quickly, if you will. Play that. I think the president of the United States is a citizen, but what I don't understand is why he hasn't just produced it to get this noise out of the way. I believe Barack Obama is a citizen of the United States, folks. Don't you? But I do have a couple of little questions, like you. Why not just provide a copy of the birth certificate? That's entirely within the president's power. Why not? That's the question, Roland Martin. What's the answer?
Well, first and foremost, he's produced the document he received from the state of Hawaii. Now, you're saying, where is the original? According to the state of Hawaii, that's the document that establishes where he was born. So what is the issue?
So you don't think the president has a copy?
No, but what is the issue?
Well, the issue is...
he's the president. He's been certified. He's in office.
Well, he's a president. I mean, he's not like, you make it sound like he's been anointed something.
No, he's a president of the United States, the 44th. So
So
what is the point? I mean, exactly where's the story in this? If he has presented a document, the state of Hawaii has confirmed that he was indeed born there, what's the issue?
Ted Poe, Congressman, what's the issue?
Well, the president has not produced a birth certificate. He's produced what is a birth announcement from the state of Hawaii. And this could all be settled if he would just produce the birth certificate. And that's why we've introduced legislation that in future elections that the president prove that he is a resident for 14 years, that he's over 35, and that he's a native-born American. And that applies to everybody, and we get rid of all this controversy and we move on down the road.
Congressman, it's nonsense. First of all, you were a state judge in Texas. I was born and raised in Houston. I remember seeing your stories all the time. My dad, when I got him a passport, he did not have his original birth certificate. He went to the Houston Department of Health and got a copy of his birth certificate. It satisfied his passport, satisfied the State Department. So how can you say that's legitimate? Oh, but the president has not presented what the state of Hawaii says is an official document with their seal on it.
Because it's not a birth certificate. It's not even a copy of the birth certificate. It's a birth announcement. It's like me sending out a birth announcement for one of my children.
What's in the newspaper is a birth announcement. That's an official document. What's in the newspaper is a birth announcement, Congressman. Come on.
If I may interject, could we just put up a copy of that certificate of live birth? What you're looking at there, which I believe is the copy that comes from factcheck.org or Annenberg, there's no reference there to the attending physician. There's no reference there to the hospital in which he was born. It is a certificate that refers to the fact that another certificate exists.
Is it an official state document?
I'm sorry?
Is it an official state document of the state of Hawaii?
Let me try this again so I can be really clear about it. It is a document that says there's another document. It does not include that you're referring to your father's birth certificate. A copy of his birth certificate would have the doctor, the hospital that he was born in, correct? And this is and by the way, this is just what people are concerned about.
Now whose people? First of all, you got 13% of Americans.
600,000 people have signed a petition.
600,000. 13% of Americans, 39 million, still think he's Muslim. And we have done everything, Lou, to debunk that as an absolute lie. So it's irrelevant.
Oh, okay, if you want to make it irrelevant, that's fine. Go ahead.
I don't know why you're getting so upset.
Because Congressman, you probably have better things to do, Congressman, than this silly little law here.
Certificate for McCain. They were, your side was all concerned.
No, Congressman, let me correct you something.
So he produced his birth certificate.
Congressman, I want
Barry Goldwater being born in the territory of Arizona.
Congressman, nice try, but first of all, I voted for Republicans and Democrats, so don't try your side. I thought the left-wing people were nuts as well. I just want to correct you on that one.
Produce the birth certificate.
No, because it's silly. It is silly. It's silly. Are you losing sleep over this?
Look, Roland, here's what I would like you to do. I would like you to remember, if you would, and I'm trying to be as nice as I can be, but you're yelling and you're getting awful excited about something that doesn't require this level of emotion.
I think it's hilarious.
Then laugh, but don't, please don't.
It's utterly hilarious, Lou.
The congressman might take your remarks a different way, and all I'm asking is that you just relax just a bit, and let's take a look at headlines from the New York Times, if we may, from last year, when at question was Senator John McCain's citizenship, and see if we can see a difference in the way in which they have approached this issue. This is the New York Times. A hint of new life to the McCain birth issue. McCain's Canal Zone birth prompts queries about whether that rules him out. The New York Times, and in July of last year with an article, it goes on. The issue of justices turn back a challenge on Obama that has not stopped a small squall of internet-fueled rumors. There's an obvious difference in tone here from the New York Times when talking about John McCain than there is when they were talking about Barack Obama.
And I don't care about the New York Times tone.
I know you don't.
The issue that we have
but I do,
here,
and that's why I bring it up.
Lou, your issue, though, is about a certificate. It's not about how the media is covering it.
No.
So which one is it?
My issue is this, okay? When this can be dispelled so quickly and simply by producing it, why not do it?
He has produced a document that is satisfactory, but it's not satisfactory to you. So, Lou, he's not here to satisfy Lou Dobbs. He's the President of the United States. He probably has other things that's on his mind that's satisfying Lou Dobbs.
Yes, and does that then, just dismiss the concern?
No, he's presented a document that is legal. In the state of Hawaii, it is legal. It is a document. It's there. Not because you're not satisfied. Okay. And Lou, if this
don't worry about my satisfaction.
Lou, you're the one who is still making this an issue.
No, please. Again, did you hear what I said? I believe he's a citizen.
Okay, so why even continue the story? Is it keeping you up at night? It is a non-issue. It is irrelevant. You say so many Americans care. No, it is an irrelevant issue. It's been established. He's the president. What's the big deal?
Is there a big deal here, Congressman Poe?
Well, I don't know that it's a big deal, but the best way we can prevent anything from happening in the future is produce the birth certificate. And, if you have your child that wants to be in the Little League, you got to show up with the birth certificate. You got to prove that he's a resident. And why can't the president do that? And that's all this legislation does, that in future elections, we don't have these disagreements, we don't have these problems. Just produce the birth certificate.
By the way,
the document from Hawaii is not a birth certificate.
So
that's the bottom line.
This
it's a
document
legal document, but not the birth certificate.
Congressman, this document couldn't satisfy the Little League in Hawaii. I think if you were still sitting on the bench, you would say this is another one of those irrelevant, useless lawsuits that we see every single day. You a tough judge in Texas, and you'd probably say, come on, give me a break. Move on, guys. This is a waste of the court's time and Congress's time.
So you're not content to speak for yourself. You're going to speak for Congressman Poe as well.
Well, you know what? As somebody who watched him every day, he was a tough judge.
You get the last word here.
Well, without belaboring the point, in the future elections, the president, the candidates, this has come up. It came up with Romney, it came up with Goldwater, it came up with McCain, now it's come up with Obama. Let's just get over this by producing a birth certificate in future elections, prove the person who's in the country 14 years, they're over 35, and we won't have these disagreements, and I think that's what we ought to do. That's
Congressman
why this legislation
Poe, by the way, is a
clear
co-sponsor of Congressman Posey's legislation to do precisely that, which he introduced back in March. Thank you very much for being here.
Next week,
you don't need to, because some would suggest that would be absolutely irrelevant. Congressman Poe, thank you very much.